Hey, what's going on guys, it's me Blighting Gamer and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be continuing What If Oak Raised Ash, and without further ado, let's get started, shall we? We continue at Mount Moon, where Ash is traversing to the ways in the cave. He knows how to get past the cave thanks to his cramps, from his stories when he was young and his map. He encounters some wild Pokemon. They don't interest him to catch them, because the Pokedex has been completed a long time ago. He just battles them to train up his team. They took a break and Ash would feed his team and take care of them. They've been gotten along with each other now. But then, a group of Clefairies with moonstones just passed by. Ash is curious at this. Plus, Clefairy are hard to come by. Maybe he should check it out. And he get to report this to his Gramps about Clefairies. Ash and his team follow the Clefairies in a chamber of sort and see a giant moonstone. Ash is amazed by this, but then he was grabbed by a scientist and told him why is he here. He explained why and introduced himself. After talking for a while, the scientist allowed Ash to observe and study the Clefairies' activity, or what they're doing. From what he's seeing, it's supposed to be relating to their origin of having relations to the moon, and also their fairy typing. He puts all of this down. He puts all of this down, and his Gramps is gonna be happy with this. But then an explosion happened, causing the Clefairies to be disrupted. A bunch of people wearing black with a giant red R on their chest starts to attack, capture Pokemon, and steal a lot of moonstone, also causing a lot of damage to the area and the Pokemon, beating them up and being cruel to them. Ash is angered by this action, especially one of the grunts is about to kill a helpless Clefairy. Ash has enough with this and goes for the attack, but the scientist tried to stop him but was futile. When the grunt is about to step on the Clefairy, he was thrown back by a bunch of stars hitting him. All of the grunts look to see a kid and his Pokemon. Ash tells all of them to leave this place and stop harming the Pokemon and their home. But the grunts just laugh at this and prepare to attack Ash with all their Pokemon. The grunts sends out their standard Pokemon they would use, like Rattata, Zubats, Coughing, and Ekans, and etc. Ash would send out Eevee and Nidoran. He tells the two to get ready to defend the Clefairy. Eevee is scared due to so many intimidating mons and grunts, but Ash reassures Eevee him and Nidoran got his back and they need to protect everyone here from these people. Nidoran also joined into this, also motivate Eevee to help. Eevee, in a different mood and a different determined face, joined the fight. When they were able to beat down some of the Pokemon there, but also Ash's battling skills were able to defeat most of the grunts Pokemon. The scientist also helped out, but he was only able to take out about 1 to 2 of their mons, and his are knocked out from the rest. Eevee and Nidoran defeated the last few, but then the ground sends out evolved versions of their Pokemon, which are more tougher. Ash knows this could be hard, especially his Pokemon might not be able to handle more. The battle is more harder now. The two are struggling, but Ash wants Eevee and Nidoran to do combination moves, so Eevee uses Sweep as a cover and an attack, while Nidoran leer and tackle, but also sometimes using double kick on some. They were able to defeat a few, but there's too many of them. Eevee and Nidoran are tired and could barely move. One of the grunts tells his Golbat to use Air Cutter to finish the two. The poison bat flaps its wings to form an air disc looking move and unleash it to Eevee and Nidoran and the rest. Ash doesn't want his friends to be greatly injured, would go in front of the move, back face, preparing for the hit. But it never happened. He's confused, but sees what looks like a boulder. Wait, it's not a boulder, it's a golem. Then he hears a familiar voice giving command to Golem to use Rock Polish and Stone Age. The rock monster boosts its speed, then shoots out a barrage of sharp rocks, defeating most of the grunts Pokemon. The grunts are not expecting Brock to show up, while Brock never thought seeing these guys again. The rocket grunts retreat because they already have what they wanted. Brock sends out Onyx to chase Team Rocket out of Mount Moon and return what they stole. The giant rock snakes oblige and chase down the grunts. He goes over to Ash and the scientists, asking if they are alright and their Pokemon. They are, but needed some treatment for their injury. Thankfully, Brock and Ash has the skill to patch them up. Not fully ready for battle, more on able to move but need rest and require a Pokemon Center. He asked Ash what happened, also the scientist adding some details. He told him not to be hasty, but was glad about him protecting the Clefairies and their resource. But tells Ash to be cautious next time, especially dangerous people like Team Rocket. Ash asks about Team Rocket's resurgence. Brock doesn't know why they're here again. He thought they were defeated a long time ago, and now they're back. He would report this to the league and the rest of the gym leaders about it. Ash would also want to report this to his Gram since, well, he was the one to introduce them in passing while telling stories about the past. Ash thanks the two for everything and he should continue along. Brock and the scientists wave him goodbye. Also, the scientists would vow to get stronger so he could protect the Clefairy and the Moonstone. Speaking about one of the Clefairy goes to Ash and wants to give him something. It's a Moonstone. Ash is very hesitant to accept it because Team Rocket almost got all of the Moonstone. He doesn't really think he's worthy to be given. But Brock catch up and explain to Ash the Clefairies are very grateful for his heroic deed and care of his Pokemon. They think it's a good idea to give one to him. Ash is reluctant at first, but he accepts the fairy Pokemon's gift, saying he would use it wisely, and when Nidoran evolves when he's ready, he'll give it to him. Brock nodded to that, and Ash left Mount Moon. By the way, for those who want to know, Onyx wasn't able to get some of the stuff back, but was able to grab a few left. After this, Ash was making his way to Vermilion to heal up his team. On his way there, he encountered a black belt who is training his Pokemon using a Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan. Curious, Ash wants to check it out. The black belt notices him and asks why is he here. Explain and ask the man what is he doing. The black belt tells him he was training his two partners, the move Mega Kick and Mega Punch. Ash is interested and asks if he could help his Pokemon learn either the two moves. The black belt accepts and asks him to send out his Pokemon. When he sees them, none of them could learn it. However, Nidoran can, but when he's fully evolved. Ash is bummed out by this. But the black belt could give Ash a pointer of the two moves whenever he has a Mon that could learn it or whenever Nidoran fully evolves. Cheered up by this, Ash thanks the martial artist, and after getting it from him and the two Hitmon, he continues to Cerulean City. When he got there, he immediately headed to the center. Once he gave his Pokemon to Nurse Joy, he goes to the PC to call his Gramps. Once Oak answers, he's happy to see his grandson, but that happy mood dropped when Ash explained the events on Mount Moon. Oak did not expect Team Rocket to return. He thought they were defeated, but maybe it also explained why he disappeared. Ash asked his grandfather who is he referring to, but Oak quickly put aside it and scolded Ash about what he did, but is proud of him. Then remembered something about Ash's task. He tells him to do it after he's done registering for the PWC. Ash questions it, then Oak continues why. He explains about Professor Sycamore's assistants will be coming here to his lab, and he needs Ash to guide them. They will meet at Saffron, then head back to Pallet Town. He also explains who Professor Sycamore is and what his assistants look like. Ash understands and he will do that. Oak tells him to be careful and prepare next time he'd then end the call. Ash goes over and takes his Pokemon, also thanking Nurse Joy. He sends out his team and tells them they need to train and prepare themselves whenever they encounter another situation like that again in the future. The two agree with their trainer. By the next day, Ash is training his team, more focused on it. Eevee and Nidoran been doing a lot of practice battles and solo training. with Ash helping pointing out their mistakes and encourage the team. He also makes sure his team is doing well during breaks. Nidoran also coaches Eevee to get more confident to itself, which leads to Eevee using a move that made it glow, then Eevee copied double kick during a practice battle. Ash recognized this move to be copycat. A lot of ways to use it depends on the move that the user is using. He praises his starter and thanked Nidoran for the help. The two were happy what they accomplished today. After this, they took a break by tomorrow. They would continue to Vermilion. He arrives at Route 5, the south way of Cerulean. There, Ash encounters a lot of trainers. He defeated all, plus good practice for his team. He arrives at the underground pathway to Vermilion. It's more on a shortcut to get there, but before going, he heard from the last trainer he fought, told him about a girl that has been scamming local trainers around and rumors about her boss being so powerful. He would take that and be careful about it. After traveling the pathway, he finally arrives to Vermilion City. He immediately headed to the center because this is the only center where he can register for the PWC. He got there and asked Nurse Joy if he wants to register for the competition. She asked him to give her his Pokedex in order to register. He did, and after waiting, he's in. Meanwhile, back at Oak's lab, in the far distance, a girl that is wearing black is waiting for her time to steal the starters and the last Pokedex. When Oak got distracted, she made her move. She went inside the lab and searched for them. The girl was able to steal Bulbasaur, but right before she could steal Charmander and the Dex, Professor Oak came and tries to stop her, but she sends out Abra and uses teleport to get out of there. Oak is mad at himself and confused of what just happened. Back in Saffron, Ash is currently waiting for the two assistants of Sycamore. It has been a few hours now since he got here. Maybe they've been lost or busy? But then Ash's Pokedex starts to ring into him. It's notifying him his first PWC match. It's somewhere in Saffron. Ash is excited. Maybe when he's battling or searching, he might run into the two assistants. He walks around trying to find his opponent until he saw someone else's phone had been ringing. They both lock eyes to each other. Ash's opponent is a boy with short pink hair and has stuff around him. He introduced himself as Ilima. Ash also introduced himself back. The two walk and talk about stuff while heading up to a field. Ash learns Ilima is from the Alola region and a very talented one there. He is currently having a training journey before he heads back to Kalos. He is excited to fight someone from another region. He has a Pokemon that is not native to Kanto. When they made it into a battlefield, a Rotom drone shows up and explains the rules to be a one-on-one match. Whoever is able to battle will win the match and rank top. They both agree to those terms. The battle starts with Ilima sending out Yungoos. Ash tried to scan it with his Dex, but no luck. So he sends out his starter Eevee. Eevee uses quick attack to hit Yungoos. The Evo Pokemon dashes to hit Yungoos, but the loitering Pokemon dodges it with ease and follows it with Tackle, which hurts Eevee a lot. Eevee gets back up, seemingly uses Tackle. Yungoos dodges it and is about to use Pursuit, but then Eevee switches move to Mud Slap, causing the Mongoose Pokemon to shout in pain but also lower its accuracy. Ilima is impressed with Ash's battle skill and commend him with it, but he won't lose that easily. Yungoos, even when its accuracy is low, hits Eevee with Leer, causing Eevee to stop, also lowering its defense, then barrages him with Tackle and Bite. The Evo Pokemon was pushed back to the floor and is struggling to get up. Ash tells him he believes on him and he knows that he has the will to do it. Eevee gets back up more determined to win, knowing his friend has his back. Ilima commends Ash for his bond with his Pokemon, but he's going to finish it. He tells Yungoos to dash it in with Bite. When Yungoos is close, Eevee reveals his long-range move Sweep to directly hitting Yungoos in the face, plus blinding him for a second, giving Eevee to use Copycat. He's surrounded by a white aura, then it turned into a dark one, successfully copying Bite. bitten to its tail, swinging him to the floor, fainted. Ilima thanks his friend for a good battle and returns it. Ash also did this and praising his starter for his first PWC battle and returns him for a rest. The Rotom Drum announces the battle's over and declares Ash the winner, then updating the ranking, and it flew up after that. Ash's ranking is now 995. Ilima thanks Ash for the battle. Ash also thanks him as well, also asking about his Pokemon. The normal specialist explain about his Pokemon is from the Alola region, and add there are different kinds of Pokemon that live in Alola. Also some Pokemon he's familiar with, but with a twist to them. Ash asks what is it, but Ilima tells him maybe one day when he visits Alola. Even though his curiosity is very high, he can't get a more info from him, Ilima. He tells the normal specialist one day when he will visit the Alola region. Then the two parted ways. After recovering in the center, he's still finding the assistant. Maybe he should call Grams to tell his victory. He couldn't find the two. But then he was stopped by a girl that is calling out to him. He turns to see a girl wearing a black dress, looks to be the same age as him. The girl praises Ash about his win from his battle, and Ash rubs off his head and thanks her for that. She pats Ash in the back and telling him good luck with his next one. She left afterwards. Ash thinks that girl is really nice. When he walks off, he felt something's off. When he goes to check his Dex, it's missing! Wait, could be that girl who stole it? He runs around the city trying to find her. Eventually, he did and tells her to give it back his Pokedex. But she taunts Ash if he wants it, then he has to come get it. Then Ash chases down the girl and screaming at her to give back his Pokedex. That's his Grumps he gave him, which gave her information about it. Meanwhile, two people wearing a white ring thing on their wrists are currently walking around, but they wanted to explore Kanto more, and the professor said they would meet Oak's helper. But then they hear a boy screaming out about giving back his Dex. When they hear this, they realize that's Oak's helper. They would follow the two. When the girl stops running at Route 8, so does Ash. Unknown to them, the two who were following hide themselves to see how would this play out. Ash asks the girl why did he stole his Dex. The girl plays around just teasing Ash, but did explain Pokedex are really hard to come by. Ash is confused by this and needs more info, but she didn't. If he wants his Dex, he needs to battle her for it. He has no choice, so he had to accept it. The girl sends out a Bulbasaur. Wait a second. Ash knows this Bulbasaur, and vice versa. He asks the girl where did he get it. She just gave Ash a hint that she paid the professor a visit. This angers Ash and hopes his Grumps is alright. He sends out Nidoran and tells his Pokemon what's the situation. Nidoran is focused, he won't lose this one. When they did battle, Bulbasaur is holding its own but doesn't have the experience that Nidoran has. Ash also knows this girl just gotten Bulbasaur and trained it, but surprisingly Bulbasaur is holding its own. He's happy, but he needs to defeat her. Nidoran charges in with tackle, but he was grabbed by Bulbasaur's Vine Whip, tossing him in the air, then was hit by Razor Leaf. Ash tells Nidoran to not give up. The Poison Rabbit Pokemon gets up. He doesn't want to lose to this Steep. Then Nidoran speeding up, cover in air waves. Ash realized Nidoran learned Aerial Ace, striking Bulbasaur. The plant dino scream in pain. Then Nidoran finished it with double kick. The girl was shocked by this and tries to run and teleport using Abra, but was stopped by two trainers. Ash catches up and meets the two trainers. The blonde boy asks him if he's Professor Oak's a helper because of the Pokedex. Ash confirms it and asks if the two were Professor Sycamore's assistant. They nodded and introduced themselves to be Dexio and Sina. Ash is happy to meet them, but also explain what is going on. The three interrogate the girl and why did she stole Ash's Pokedex. She doesn't want to go back to prison because she would be found out by those people again. Sheena tells her she would be asked more questions when they go to Professor Oak's lab. The three ask her name. The girl sighs and introduces herself as Leaf. Meanwhile, in a dark room, we see a boy with long red hair looking at the info that he was given to him by Leaf. He doesn't talk to him as much, only giving important information. He was intrigued of what he's reading. Apparently, this boy named Ash Ketchum has a Pokedex, which are very hard to come by, and if he has one, well, he might be strong. A strong one. But he knows this guy is weak by looking at him. Also, being the grandson of Professor Oak, which he doesn't even look like him. He'll go check out this Ash person and maybe give him a lesson to not mess with him, and also not being worthy to have a Pokédex because for being weak and a fake grandson. And that is all for right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So the next video will be woke up early. That will be the last Pokemon Marathon video, and I guess that's it from me now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye everyone.